Hey guys, Ultraman52 here. Welcome to the video where I answer all of your questions. Let's just go ahead and get started with it. Also, I'd like to mention that it's right now actually Sunday. It's like 2:08 in the morning on Sunday. So I wanted to get this video out on Saturday, but some things I could not control happened. I had to go to several Halloween parties. And also, for whatever freaking reason why, the video, I already had the video recorded, please note. But for some unknown, godforsaken reason why, the video corrupted and lost all my footage. So I had to redo the whole, so I have to now redo the whole entire video. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Alright guys, welcome back now. So, first off, now I'm gonna, each time I answer a question, I'll make a little cut, so it's a little bit easier for me to edit. So, here we go. First question, I'm sorting all the questions by newest first, but we're gonna start from the bottom and work our way up. So, first question comes from Clayton Lancaster. He asks, what is your favorite horror film? That's a little bit difficult for me to answer because I love a lot of horror movies. I love all the Friday the 13th movies, all the Nightmare films, almost all the Texas Chainsaw films, all the Halloween movies. But I couldn't name my favorite, but I'll name one of my favorites. It is definitely, I would say, Repo: The Genetic Opera. It's more like a rock opera, but there are horror elements to it, so I will definitely say that. But thank you, Clayton, for the question. Alright, so next question comes from Wizard Game. He asks 3 questions. First is favorite Godzilla movie, favorite anime titties, and your thoughts on Game Wizard. Whoa. First off, the thoughts for Game Wizard, Aaron, or just Game Wizard in general, is a one-of-a-kind thing, you know? There's only one in existence, so yeah, you have to see it to believe it. That's all I'll say. Favorite anime titties? It's really a tie between Sayako from High School of the Dead and Colin Stridefield from Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion R1 and R2, or Season 1 and 2. But I'd probably have to say Colin Stridefield just by a smidgen, only because she just got the nice spring break anime titties. So, thank you, Wizard Game. Next question comes from Big Debo72. He asks one question: favorite sex position. Favorite sex position. Excuse me. I'm tired. Long day, by the way. So, I would say I like cowgirl and missionary and doggy also. So, but if I was gonna pick between those 3, probably doggy. I would say, yeah. So thank you, Big Debo. Next question comes from NachoMan64. He asks the same question 3 times. When will you be posting your hentai collection video? Okay, funny little story. I told this on one of Aaron's streams. A few months back, a viewer messaged me on Facebook and asked me if I was cool if he sent me some anime, an anime book. So I assumed it was like a manga or art book or something like that. And like, yeah, sure, cool. I'm up for really anything that's anime. I probably should have said as long as it's not hentai, but that's my fault. So I gave him my address, and what came was a package from Right Stuff Anime, and boy, did I not know that Right Stuff sold hentai. Yeah, they sell a lot of hentai manga, and a lot of hentai anime, well, hentai DVDs and Blu-rays. Opened it up, it's a hentai book. So, I'm like, oh, I can't read this. Like, I did a whole entire video on it. I did a whole entire unboxing, a blind unboxing, and I'm like, oh, I can't show this. So that video is deleted and probably will never see the light of day. In fact, thank God I deleted it. So that's really the only piece of hentai that I now own. So yeah. In fact, Corey, I showed it to Corey and Chris. Corey has read that book. It's not surprising, to be honest, because it's Corey, the mole. But hopefully, Nacho Man, that answers your question. Next question comes from J-Tunes. He asks, if you were a sidekick, who would you want to be your partner and why? I'm going to assume maybe you mean like a Batman and Robin type thing. Probably I would say Iron Man, because that way I would be able to get my own Iron Man suit. I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah. Thank you, Jade, for the question. Next question comes from Nalu the Catfish. Yay, my Nalu. She's one of my best friends, by the way. She asks 3 questions. First is, what is your favorite musical instrument? I would definitely say the guitar. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? I forget the name of the powers, but whatever abilities that Doctor Strange has with like the arts or something like that. I forget what it's called, but yeah, his powers are really cool. I could just make a portal and go to any place I want in the world. I could look in different like alternate realities, like how he did it with the Infinity War stuff. So I would probably pick Doctor Strange powers. And her last question is, if you could be in any video game, which would it be? Definitely not anything that's Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but that's really. I probably say maybe like looking at my game collection here. I don't know really, to be honest. That's probably maybe like the Mass Effect world. I think that'd be kind of cool to be in the Mass Effect world. So hopefully that answers your question, Nalu. And thank you for the question also. Next questions come from Deadpan Fluke. He says, okay, seeing as this is going to be pretty close to Halloween, let's make these questions festive. First, First, favorite horror game and why? Favorite horror game is definitely Dead Space 2. It, I believe, is the perfect blend of action and horror. I'd say it's about 75% horror, while 25% action, if not maybe like 70% action and 70% horror and 30% action. I just find it to be a very, very well done game, just perfect all around. My favorite still of the trilogy. 3 I hate the most, by the way. I fucking hate 3. And his second question is, have you ever had anything happen to you that was considered paranormal, spooky, or just really freaking scary or weird? Yeah, actually, a couple of years ago in 2004 or 5, this happened a few months after my grandma passed away. Me and my friend were watching TV. We were staying at my mom's friend's place during that time, and we he was laying on the couch. I was laying on bed watching TV. Him too. And there's a door that when you open it, it goes to the kitchen, and we had it open all the way, and there was a light shining through the doorway onto a white curtain. And as we're watching TV, we somehow, our eyes we're drawn towards the white curtain, and we see a shadow pass in front of the light. And I could make out the features of that shadow very, very clearly, and it was my grandma, because we actually had her ashes on a counter, and I thought it was actually really cool and kind of freaky at the same time. So we couldn't explain it. We checked all around the house to make sure that we were really the only ones there, and it was really cool. It was really, really cool. A little bit freaky though, but still very cool, and that's why I'm a firm believer of the paranormal. But last question from Deadpan. He asks, what is your favorite horror or sci-fi movie villain and why? Probably say Freddy Krueger, only because it's like the fact he can kill you in your dreams, and really anything can happen in your dreams. Like, he essentially is just, immortal. I could pick someone like Jason Voorhees, because he's the same thing too. He's technically immortal, or like a zombie, and he is virtually almost indestructible, because you can cut off his arm and he'll still freaking live. But I would say Freddy Krueger, only because of the fact that I like his personality. He's a very witty, wisecracking character, and I love his character design. His claw is really awesome, and just the way he kills people is pretty ingenious. So thank you, Deadpan. Alright, so next one comes from Sam Hunan. I think that's how I pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. He asks 3 questions. Do you believe in UFOs? Yes, I do. I truly believe that we cannot be the only living life forms in the entire galaxy. There has to be something else out there. His next question is, what's your favorite? What's your favorite, vampires or werewolves? I would say werewolves, only because like they only really appear during a full moon, and not like when the moon is like a half a moon or like a quarter of a moon. There has to be like a full moon for them to actually be out. So I would definitely pick werewolves. And his last question is, if you could live in any time period from the past, what time period would it be? Would you choose, and why? Definitely the 90s, because just like the best years of my life were in the 90s. Had great cartoons, had great movies, had great video games. Like the start of the Super Nintendo was in the 90s, and the N64, and just some of the best years of my childhood were in fact of the 90s. So I would definitely say that. But thank you, Sam. Next question comes from Dave from D and Dave. He asks 2 questions. Not trolling, but seriously, why do you enjoy My Little Pony? Also, who is the smartest Gosharshi? Smartest Gosharshi probably is Josh. He just, I think, knows a little more. I think personally, not by much, but he's still a really cool kid. Just he's in a really shitty environment with his brother and mom. But the My Little Pony thing, I guess the whole entire reason why I originally liked it was the fact that I liked the writing. I also liked the characters. It taught some really cool lessons in life that a lot of people now should take to heart. And just the voice cast was really awesome. Of course, you had Tara Strong, who by then was already a freaking juggernaut in terms of voice actresses. But with Ponies Now, I've not watched a single episode of season 8. In fact, I just don't care about ponies anymore. I really, really don't. I might be selling some of my pony collection off sometime soon. I just don't know when. It's not that I hate it. It's just like I hate where the show is going. I don't like the writing for the newer seasons. Some of the characters I hate, like a new character called Starlight Glimmer. I hate her. A lot. They keep having to reteach every character the same lesson over and over again, like Rainbow Dash. Don't be cocky and don't be an asshole. But like she keeps relearning the same freaking lesson 10 fucking times a season. So it's really annoying. The only thing that's ponies I still watch is the Equestria Girl series, which is a mini series, or it's a web series on YouTube, and it's the ponies as humans, and they go on and do kind of almost normal shit, and it's actually really cool. It's a fresh take on the whole entire thing, so that's really the only thing I watch, to be honest. But hopefully that answers your question, Dave. Next question comes from JD. He asks, will you add me on PSN? Sure, dude. My PSN is on my main page. In fact, I'll just say right now, it's Balto Godzilla. Capital B for Balto, like the dog, and capital G for Godzilla. So there's my PSN right there if anyone wants to add me. And his last question is, did you ever forgive Aaron Scam Sharshi for selling Digimon 2? It was actually Digimon 3. And yes, I have already forgiven him. It really, now that I think about it, it really wasn't that even big of a deal, to be honest. But I never really I was probably heated for like the first hour of that happening, and now it's like whatever. So thank you, JD, for the questions. Next question comes from Nate Smith. He asks 3 really, really out there questions. First question is, do you like lolly? Do I like lollies? No, I don't. I don't really like underage animes, unless they're legal, obviously, above the age of 18, like Colin Stridefield. She is legal with the spring break anime titties. Yeah. Also, have you ever clopped? Clop is a My Little Pony term for jerking off, or just jerking off to pony porn. Pony porn, no, but for porn in general, I mean, like, who doesn't jack off to porn? So I guess, like, in terms of clopping to porn, like actual porn, like man, woman, like fucking or lesbian porn, then yeah, of course, I do jack off. Of course, who doesn't? And last question he asked is, can you see your penis? And in parentheses it says, I know I can't see mine. Yeah, I know I can. Yeah, I can definitely see mine. Yeah. Hello, how you doing? Yep, it's right there. So, yeah, I can definitely see it. So thank you, Nate, for the really strange questions. Okay, so we're coming down to the last 4 people that ask questions. Next person is Master Video Studios. He asks 3 questions. They're all actually really good. 1, do you think Batman is wrong when it comes to his no-killing policy, especially with the likes of the Joker, Victor Zsasz, and others in his rogue gallery? I mean, for some, it kind of makes sense. Like, with the Joker and Victor Zsasz, of course, they're freaking psychopaths and they kill people, so it would be much better just to have them dead. But of course, Batman doesn't want to end up like them, like a killer. So, in that sense, like, yeah, it is kind of wrong or dumb with Batman's no-killing policy. I remember, like, in one comic that I read on Facebook, someone apparently uploaded, like, the whole entire issue. I think it might have been a part of the Injustice series, I think it was. I don't know, like, where, really, to be honest. But it was Batman, Superman, and I think like, the other Super Friends and the Joker. Superman is trying to wants to kill the Joker because he killed Lois Lane, and Batman's like, no, like don't do it. I'll take him back to Arkham and all that crap. So they get in. So him and the Joker get in the Batmobile, and Joker is explaining to Batman how I guess he killed Lois Lane and how he wished he could do it again and do it to other people too. And I guess that kind of gets to Batman, like, mentally, and he grabs the Joker by the head and snaps his neck in the Batmobile, and he pulls over and like opens the Joker's side of the door, and like the Joker and the Joker just falls out dead. And cut to, I guess, like a few weeks later, Batman's in prison talking to Superman over the glass phone thing or whatever the hell it's called, and Batman's like, yeah, I killed the Joker for you and Lois so he doesn't have to, you know, put people through that bullshit like, you know, he put you and Lois through or whatever. And Superman, like, walks through the freaking glass and just, of course, doesn't get harmed, obviously, and shakes Bruce's hand and goes and is like, thank you very much. So I thought that was a kind of a cool, like, little comment. I kind of want to read the entire thing again. If someone can find it, please let me know down in the comments. His next question is, Master Studios, the next question is, thoughts on the use of the F-bomb being used in more Godzilla films and or kaiju films in general. I don't think I've ever heard the F-bomb dropped in a kaiju film / Godzilla film. I'm pretty sure there might be like one that drops the F-bomb, but I've never heard an F-bomb dropped in a Godzilla film or any kaiju film for that matter. His third question is, name something someone should never write into a Godzilla-related / kaiju-related story. Definitely say sex scene. Unless you're making like a hentai, then of course, or porn, then of course, yeah, then definitely do it. then yeah, the sex scene is pretty much mandatory. But when it comes to the actual, like, I'm okay with love stories unless they're done right. As long as it kind of like goes with the story, kind of like the original Gojira. But yeah. That's really the only thing I would say. Like, don't do sex scenes. I'm okay with love stories. Just make sure they're written right and they don't overshadow the main story, or they feel like that they're just not even needed to begin with. So hopefully that answers your question, Master Video Studios. So, and again, thank you for the question. Next question comes from Yao9. He asks 3 questions. 1, favorite non-mainstream tokusatsu, knocks off Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Sentai off the list, as in Super Sentai like Power Rangers. It's not mainstream, but I would definitely say Gridman, or if you go back into the 90s and watch Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, which was the Americanization of that show. It basically was Ultraman, but in the computer world, and make him antivirus software. That's the whole entire story for Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, and also Gridman. Or just go on YouTube, type in Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad intro, and there's the whole story right in the intro. But they just released a new Gridman anime, and I am watching that, and that's really good, by the way. Definitely recommend checking out the Gridman anime. And hopefully, yeah, that answers your question. Second question is, favorite item in your collection? Ooh, definitely I would say my my X Plus 25 centimeter tall Shin Godzilla. I do want to get the 30 centimeter tall one because that one is really cool looking. Plus, it has much better detail and paint job, but it's a little expensive right now. Hopefully, I can get it sometime next year, maybe, if I save enough money. But yeah, definitely my X Plus 25 centimeter tall Shin Godzilla. And his third question is, worst show you've ever seen? Johnny Test. Fucking awful show. Do not watch Johnny Test. It's basically Dexter's Laboratory, except the roles are reversed, but done really shitty. And yeah, people say that like the first, like when the show was on Fox Kids or like whatever, or Kids WB or some shit, that the show was actually cool then. I even watched the show back then, like a little bit of it, and like even then the show was terrible. Like the show is just god awful. Like I could say something like Teen Titans Go, and that show is fucking awful, by the way, and it deserves to be freaking canceled. But like that's like for me number one is Giant Test. I fucking hate that goddamn show. And last person, we have Doongie Forever. He asks 3 questions, and my battery is starting to run dry, so hopefully I can answer all your questions now, dude. He asks, what anime universe would you live in? Probably also maybe like the Gundam universe. Of course, pilot a giant robot and have like new type abilities and shit. Or the Code Geass universe where I can drive a Nightmare frame and have a Geass power where I can control people or stop time in like a certain area or like whatever. I would love that, to be honest. I'd probably pick, yeah, the Code Geass world. But his second question is, what's something from your childhood that hasn't made a comeback yet that you would like to see revived? To be honest, I don't really know. I mean, one thing I loved in my childhood was video game magazines. I know we technically still have it via Game Informer, but to be honest, that's really the only gaming magazine that's out to the public. Back in like the 90s, there was, back in the 80s and 90s, there was like Nintendo Power, there was a Sega Genesis magazine, there was a PlayStation magazine. I think there also was like I believe a Dreamcast one too. Just so many, and I think there even was like a TurboGrafx one too. So many awesome game magazines. That's something that really needs to come back, is game magazines. Like bring back fucking Nintendo Power. I would love Nintendo Power. So hopefully that answers your question. And last question is, favorite time of the year is definitely going to be the winter time / Christmas time, because I love wrapping presents, decorating my whole entire apartment. Very Christmas themed. I also love watching all the old school Frank and Bass Christmas films because those are all a really huge part of my childhood, and they're awesome. I love those films to death. So hopefully that answers your question, Doongie. And that's it, guys. That's all the questions. I really hope you all enjoy this. I'm sorry that I got this out like later on than I should have, but yeah, I got done. Yeah, some things I couldn't control. But yes, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Sorry that it took so long to get through all the questions. I was thinking about like putting these like into parts or, but not really, not my thing. So yeah, hopefully all you guys enjoyed. Again, leave a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe, and also hit that hit that notification bell so you guys know when I get uploaded. Because YouTube algorithm nowadays is bullshit and it's broken as fuck. Because fuck YouTube, by the way. Fuck YouTube. And also fuck Google. There you go. So, yeah. Hope you guys all enjoyed. And sayonara.